Get ready. He lifted Cosimi into his arms, placed a hand on Erin's shoulder, and they were kneeling on the floor in a warm room with walls and a ceiling, also medical beds and curative units and lots of people scrambling around. We need help here. And a Revna woman spun and looked at him in shock. Where did you come from? Does it matter? I've brought wounded from Post Alpha. She hurried over to them, curative unit trailing behind. Get 2 mobile cots readied. She directed her doctorly scrutiny at Erin first, for some unknown reason. Sir, what are your injuries? Other than the obvious, I've no idea, and I don't care. Focus on her. The curative unit tried to take Cosimi from Caleb's arms, but he turned his shoulder in a protective stance. I'm maintaining a bubble of the proper air mixture around her face. I have to stay with her until you can get her hooked up to a suitable air supply. The doctor blinked in confusion. Your Praesidis? Caleb exhaled ponderously. Oh, something like that. We're going to move her to the cot on this side here. Ready? Caleb stood to follow. When he reached the cot, he gently laid Cosimi down on it. The doctor wound 2 tubes out from the wall, fitted them into a mask, and placed it over Cosimi's mouth and nose. Narada air supply established. Unit C3, I want diagnostics on her chest cavity in case there are internal injuries, then of her left shoulder and upper arm. She pivoted to face Erin, who had used various furniture to pull himself up to a standing position and clung feebly to a cabinet. Now you! Off the leg before you fall and shatter what's left of your tibia. A curative unit will see to cleansing and disinfecting the area, eventually. She reached in her lab coat pocket and removed a vial filled with liquid. For now, painkillers will have to do. Erin sighed, briefly interrupting the grimace he wore. No, I should decline them, but frankly, right now, I'm not that strong. Load me up. First, let's get you to a cot. Caleb helped him over to the next empty cot. He gritted his teeth to keep from screaming as Caleb carefully lifted his busted leg up and positioned it alongside the non-busted one. Nope, not anywhere close to that strong. There was nothing else he could do to help Cosimi, to help anyone, including himself. But what of the others? He had been consumed with pain and cold and Cosimi to the exclusion of all else, and only now did the reality of his home, his friends, his colleagues, all being under attack, penetrate his addled mind. He frantically started pinging comms. The doctor motioned in grudging approval, and Caleb gave him a once-over. Well, you look like shit, but they'll take care of you. I need to get back out there. Erin's hand shot out to grab Caleb's arm. Wait, Felsior. He was supposed to be evacuating to Charlie, albeit under protest, but I don't think he made it to the teleportation gate. I just checked, and he's not answering any comms. The teleportation gate's been destroyed. The whole building's been destroyed. If he's not already at Post Charlie. He saw the attack coming and warned us. He saved dozens, if not hundreds of lives. I'll find him. Sion, Keonis Stellar System, Milky Way Sector 59. How the hell was he going to find Felsior inside a smashed complex of buildings 300 meters wide and twice as long? Caleb had gotten the comm address and started pinging Felsior immediately, but the Valkyrie hadn't responded to him either. Maybe his translator was damaged, or maybe Felsior was damaged. He teleported from Sadis back to the Sion and found Alex mid-destruction of a Maquis fighter, on the ground among the snow, fighting in very visceral death. He'd almost forgotten about the battle underway above the planet, but up here, it continued to rage, unabated. Out of the viewport, tens of thousands of ships, large and small, soared and fired, spun and exploded, including the Maquis fighter. Alex peered over her shoulder at him as she casually veered to avoid the debris. Do I even need to say it? He glanced down and realized blood had soaked into his shirt and much of his pants. Okay, but it's not mine. Erin, is he all right? He's not in great shape, but well, obviously he'll live, but this time probably without the help of Regenesis. Cosimi, I'm not so confident about. He dropped a hand on the cockpit dash and leaned in beside Alex. Can you leave the battle for a few minutes to go to the surface and circle what's left of the upper main complex? I want you to scan for life signs. I can, but is there any chance you could be a bit more specific as to what we're hunting for? I expect or hope that we'll pick up a number of life signs, so what do we do then? The Marines are already on the ground waiting through the chum shock to reach survivors.
to keep listening to this audiobook. I've left you a link in the description so you can do it, at no cost thanks to Audible's 30-day free trial.